Hi, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. This is going to be a Taurus reading. Okay, Taurians. I don't know if that's what they're called, but Taurians, I think that's what it is. Okay, for Taurus spirit, what does Taurus need to know? What are they confronting? What are the blocks? Okay. We have learning. I'll put it right in the center of our reading. Anything else? Anything else for Taurus? We have growth. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? Whoa, avalanche. Let's see what we have here. We have let loose. We have speak your truth in reverse. And we have peace. Okay, let's just check out the unconscious position. Move this light out of the way. There we go. Unconscious position, we have duality. Okay, I'm just going to leave that here. Now, Taurus, you are known for your love of stability. You like to build things that last. You like to think about your legacy. Very grounded, enjoying kind of the slow pleasures of life. Okay. So it's interesting. I just finished the Aries reading and the whole thing was centered around throat chakra stuff, speaking your truth. A little bit of that is bleeding over. Remember that these readings are for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. So you can listen to multiple signs regarding, wherever your placements are. Yeah, so you're in a growth time, Taurus. Hold on. Something's coming. Something else is pivoting here. Yeah, it's funny because this doesn't feel like a reading for Taurus. This feels like a summary of Taurus, right? Taurus, they like to ground in peace. They like to honor and unfurl growth in a way that is sustainable. So maybe you're being asked, Taurus, to break out of these patterns, to allow yourself to take a day off from working towards this legacy, from working towards this kind of long-term investment, to let loose, to allow yourself to maybe learn something new as you kind of cycle in this next growth cycle. Okay, where do we want to go? Bear with me, I'm just going to shuffle. Okay, Spirit, for Taurus, okay. We have a leg up, we have community, and we have come to the edge. Okay, I get it. I'm getting the vibe. Taurus, you are at this really lovely place where you've worked really hard in your life and you are being called to pursue a new flavor of pleasure, a new way of letting loose. And this may be something you know and something you don't know, right? It might be a new facet of self you're learning about. But here's the thing. To do anything in a sustainable way is to never to betray or abandon parts of yourself. And so none of us can be all business all the time. We have to have balance, right? We have to bring in some pleasure. So you really are being called to come to the edge of self and allow yourself to receive that pleasure. Allow yourself to play and meet yourself in community, meet yourself in kind of the unfurling edges of yourself. You've heard me say that phrase before. But yeah, if we are consistently showing up on the edge of self, we are consistently invoking growth, invoking personal transformation, this kind of sort of internal expansion. And by doing this, it's funny, Taurus, you may be used to not making investments that you perceive as not contributing to the long term. However, what you're missing out on is the duality of, pleasure and play, that you can gain profound skills and maybe even connecting with community or networking, or some part of your longevity is actually going to be found in this sort of letting loose energy. It's going to give you a leg up here in a way that you might not have planned for. So allowing yourself the space to be surprised. Yeah, what's in the unconscious position here is building blocks. So yeah, what you're pushing away is contributing to your foundation in some capacity, and you're not going to know what that is until you take a step towards it. Cool message. All right, let's see what else. I'm just feeling like a few more shuffles. Okay. For Taurus, anything else? What would support them in coming to the edge? What does that edge look like? Interesting. Okay. We have this abundance card. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? What does that say? Small steps, big accomplishments. Yes. Okay. You're being really called to understand your duality. Hold on. Let me just get all the cards out. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else for Taurus? Anything else about these big accomplishments? What would support them in taking these micro steps towards this? I just saw it. There it is. What do we have here? Surrender to receive in reverse. Yeah, okay. Oh, Taurus. Okay, two messages coming through here. One is you're working too hard, and some way that you're showing up and working is actually not contributing to your long-term success. So you might have to evaluate your approach to quote unquote what work is, how you work, what you perceive work to be, what you perceive successful people to be. So that's the first message. The other message is some of you are blocking receptivity. Some of you are really getting in your own way here and getting in the way of your own abundance. All right, hold on. I need more, Spirit. Anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to share about what's blocking this abundance from coming in for Taurus? Of course, right when I ask the perfect question, the answers come out. Prayers answered in reverse. That's a faith a faith quandary is what I'm trying to say. And then focus on the big picture in reverse. Okay, here's the thing, Taurus. I love how grounded you are. I am fully in awe of how you continue to take micro steps towards this big picture, towards this legacy that you're building on the planet. However, sometimes when we're focusing too much on the long game, on your end game, we tend to miss out on what's right in front of us. Now, you continue to get this message. You've gotten it in three different versions of the same message. It's time for you to allow yourself the luxury, because I'm using that word because I think you think it's a luxury to not build a future, to not focus on the future. So you are allowed the luxury of just being in the present moment and enjoying it, whatever that pleasure is. How did those two messages connect? Okay, I get it. Okay, so by allowing yourself presence and awareness in the present moment, it is the bridge to get you to your answered prayers. I don't know what those are for you. I can't know. All right, so then okay, hold on. The next question is, what would support Taurus in being present and allowing themselves to exist in the moment, to surrender? Yeah, okay. look at this really sweet little expression on this cute little piglet. And notice the piglet is sitting on coins, money, treasure, wealth, abundance. And it says, so remember what I asked? I asked, what is getting in the way of Taurus being present? And we receive self-worth, self-love, self-value, self-respect. So some of you might be working really hard as a trauma response. That was a big thing I just said. Let me break it down a little bit more. Some of you may have picked up a narrative or a story along the way that you are not worthy, that you are not worthy of just existing on this planet, that to earn your keep, you must be successful or you must accomplish this one thing or several things that you are hyper fixated on, and that's your way of earning your keep on this planet. It's just not true, Taurus. It's just not true. So I need you to rewrite that narrative. I need you to sit in that and really own what part of that resonates, what parts are not true, and what parts feel a little sting. Okay, here's like around a different approach to this exact thing. If you think about your legacy, if you think about your long-term goal or this big achievement that you are working towards in your life, what would it mean if you never accomplished it? Right? That's a big question. What would it mean? What stories would you tell about yourself if you did not accomplish this thing? I don't want to give you a bunch of narratives. I could infer what I think people might in this situation might make it mean, right? Okay, so if you define yourself by this one big lifelong legacy and accomplishment, and you do not reach that accomplishment, you might think that, oh, I'm a failure. My life was for nothing. You might think, I'm not a success. I'm not worth love. I'm not worth respect. I'm not worth being here on the planet. Like, there's all these narratives that could come out of this. If any of that is vibrating for you as true, you're being called to nip this in the bud. Or a kinder way to say it is you're being called to do the parts work, to really parent the parts of self that believe these things as true. It's just not true. It's like whether you're poor or rich or accomplished or not, all these different people who've accomplished everything to nothing, right? Which no one has accomplished nothing. Even by showing up and breathing, you accomplish things by just moving through your day and connecting with people. And, if you've ever said a prayer in your life, you've accomplished something. You are seeding consciousness with a beautiful vibration, right? But regardless, whether you've accomplished many things or not very many things, those two people come into this earth the same and leave this earth the same, right? It's like we come in with nothing, we leave with nothing, and no one can say otherwise. Now, it's understandable why, because of that truth, why it might put more pressure. Sorry, I'm shaking my camera. Why you might perceive more pressure than, okay, if I come in with nothing and leave with nothing, that's why my legacy is that much more important. Well, I have to call upon brilliant Maya Angelou to ground this message a little bit. We have to rewire what we're perceiving our legacy to be. Maya Angelou says your legacy is every life that you have touched, meaning you have no clue there's no way of you getting an accurate representation of what your legacy really is, because it is almost nearly impossible to be able to track something like that. Your energy at a certain moment in time when someone crosses your path could have changed someone's life forever, and they could go out and change a million other lives. And you'll never be able to assess the true, authentic nature of all of these micro moments that you've affected in this quantum existence, right? Because we're all connected. So there's no way of assessing it. So when you look at it that way, it's like, well, shoot, if there's no way of really accessing accessing my legacy, well, then what am I actually, why am I letting this thing, why am I holding this thing over my head? Why am I operating in a way in the world, on the planet, that puts so much pressure on myself to deliver this thing, right? And so then we start peeling back the layers, because we are all divinely fallible, and like an onion, we all have many, many layers of reasons why we do things. And usually they're rooted in our childhood, and we picked up a narrative along the way that said something about ourselves that we intuited, and that we believed. So then we spend the rest of our lives enacting out this thing or rebelling against this thing, when really the true power move is to call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong, to call your awareness back, unplug it from these narratives that you've animated through the years, or that others have animated for you. Interesting. What's in the unconscious position here is action leads to success. So, normally I would read this card one way, but because it's in this Taurus reading, it's a number one card. Yeah. There's something here about this pressure to be number one, Taurus, or to have like a number one focus or something. So normally action leads to success. This message, we've heard it in many different forms in our life, but here, Taurus, it's in the shadow position. So you're being called to reevaluate, like, what is actual success? What does that actually mean to you? Is it true? There's something that's being pushed into the shadows around success, what you believe success to be, who you believe to be successful. There's like some sort of something out of your consciousness, something out of your awareness. You know what? We got to get an inner child card, because that's coming up in this reading. So I'm just going to pivot really quick because the energy is there. Let's see. For Taurus, what do they need to know at this juncture? What do they need to know? What would support them? What do they need to heal from childhood that is leading them to believe and attach to all these false narratives? What do you want them to know? I'm going to sit here until we get something, because I just got a very acute inner child thing. Okay, we got one. We have emotions are the reflection. Look for the deeper meaning. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Yes. Get lost. Fall deep into the realm of imagination. I'm very much feeling like a reclamation of innocence, a reclamation of childhood creativity, a reclamation of valuing that a child like for instance, Taurus, what would a child say success is if you asked a child? You're being called to really lean into your inner child and feel into, like, what would a kid say success is? Because believe it or not, I bet their definition, a child's definition of success, would be much closer to your heart-centered fulfillment than maybe what you've been pursuing. We also have be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining. And we have let love guide you. Choose to see the good in the world today. It came out in reverse. Put this down here. Okay. This message is just taking up a lot of space in my chest right now. It's hard to kind of breathe. Let me honor how traumatizing some of our childhoods have been. Let me honor all of the moments, Taurus, all of the experiences and circumstances that you've had that have told you that it is not safe to let love in. That the world is inherently bad and an unsafe place, and you have to work really hard to protect yourself from it or to earn some sort of feeling of safety. This is the awakening that you are confronting in this moment, that really that feeling of safety, that feeling of groundedness, that feeling of of, a firm foundation or stability that you've been trying to create out in the world, it really needs to be created inside yourself. That's where this message is going. You're being asked to, to heal the parts of self, to allow, to heal trust, to forgive who you need to forgive, to trust in what's showing up for you, to trust that love is real, that love can actually guide you, that you can trust that the universe is unfurling for you and not just this very scary, unsafe thing created for you to fear. All right, we also have you are wanted and there is a home waiting within. I mean, these messages are so in alignment with what I've been saying. You are wanted, you are worthy, you are safe, you are loved, Taurus. There is a home waiting for you within that's warm and cozy and safe, where you could take off all your masks, where you don't have to earn your keep, where you're just welcomed. You're just welcomed, wanted, and cherished just for being yourself. Yeah, we have a time to remember, look back on your childhood in reverse. I really honor, I have a profound amount of empathy and compassion if it's painful to look back. And yet I also know that that cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek, right? It's like the only way out is through. I'm sure you've heard that a million times. Let's see what's in the unconscious position. We have a false shadow here. What does this say? Be still, cultivate a space of stillness and silence to just be. Stillness in the unconscious position. Yeah, it's very easy, Taurus. Sometimes we can distract ourselves from the stillness because sometimes stillness is too painful for us to be in. So we occupy our time, we fill our lives, we fill our brain, we create a bunch of noise in the external world so we don't have to be in the quiet, so that we don't have to, be in the silence of ourselves, of our psyche, of our pain, of our truth. It's painful. So I'm just going to leave that here just so we remember. Let's get some angel cards for you, Taurus. Oh, deep love for you, Taurus. It's understandable how much you've been through and why you'd want to create. It makes sense to me if you've had a painful childhood and foundation. It makes sense to me why you care more about your legacy. What is a legacy? A legacy is a thing that's left over after you're gone. So think about that, Taurus. Like you're almost investing all of your precious present life force in the future, in a time where you're not going to be here. And so you have to ask yourself the question, why is that more important to you than actually just being present in the now, right? Where did those narratives come from? Who told you that, you're not worthy in the here and now, that you'll only be worthy after you're gone? So I got some angel cards. I'm going to get some more. We have healthy lifestyle. It came out in reverse. Archangel Raphael, eat a healthful diet, get adequate sleep, and exercise regularly for optimal health. And then we have claircognizance, Archangel Uriel. Pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. I'm just going to leave that there. It doesn't need further explanation. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else that would support Taurus in moving through this? We have patience. Very specific message. Patience, Archangel Jophiel. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. Listen, this is hard. You have to remember that it took a lifetime for you to develop the neurological pathways in your brain, which create the patterns of your behavior and perceptions. So it's going to take some time to start, unraveling some of these patterns. And then we have angel therapy, Archangel Raphael. Give your cares and worries to us, angels, and allow us to take your burdens. Now, this came out in the reverse. So I'm curious, Taurus, what is your spirituality? What is your relationship to spirituality right now? Do you have spirituality? Do you have belief in something greater than yourself? The message I'm getting, Taurus, is that you maybe some of you feel alone in this world. Maybe some of you forget that you have divine support. Like, here's the thing about the divine is, like, whether you believe it in it or not, the divine believes in you, right? The quantum field is a part of you. It's I use these terms interchangeably because I think we all have different flavors of what we're comfortable, of all these different labels that we're comfortable with. You know, it took me like a couple decades to be okay with saying God. It took me a very long time because I had a lot of, religious trauma, right? I was healing from our very, I was raised Roman Catholic, and it's a very patriarchal language around religion, and that didn't sit well with my heart and soul, and it felt very isolating. And so I kind of rebelled against that for a long time. So it took a while for me to get comfortable with finding my own path through this thing that we call spirituality. So Taurus, you're being asked to really lean in. What would comfort you right now? If you can create your own religion or your own belief system, what would that be? There's something, again, a narrative here around don't leave yourself out in the cold. Don't, again, think you have to do this on your own, because you're never doing this on your own. Anything else for Taurus? Yes, passion. What does it say? It says, Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Okay. Let me just see what's in the unconscious. We have remember who you are. Archangel Michael, you are powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. It came out in reverse in the shadow position. That's my false shadow. This means you might not have access to who you are. You know, you might have been a little seed of, all right, how do I want to say this, Spirit? Help me. You know, someone in your childhood may have planted a seed about who you are, and you've clung on to that. You're allowed to remember the truth of who you are, your core essence that you are this infinite being, that you are a creature of oneness, that you are loving awareness incarnate, that you have divine passion that is meant, a divine passion and divine soul mission that is, you're meant to step into your soul's deepest truth, that you're allowed to feel safe and loved and live a life in harmony here. Anything else, Spirit? I keep staring at this passion card. There's something else here. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. Here's the thing, Taurus. Like, this whole reading, you've been asked to come to the edge of self, that your prayers will be answered when you could, like, lean to the edgy part of yourself, that abundance is on the other side, that growth and learning opportunities and connections with others and community, like all of this fauna, like vegetation. I'm seeing Mother Gaia energy, a lot of like lush, like I think of the Amazon, like where everything is like damp and growing, and there's so much vegetation and animals, and everything is flourishing. All of this growth and worthiness is on the other side of you making this change. Oof, Taurus, that's a lot. It's a lot, but it's, you know, it's beautiful. Okay, what else do we got? I don't want to go too much because that's a lot for you to work with already. Hold on. Let's get one of these Divine Beloved cards. And you know what's funny? You know, some readings, most of my readings are not very God-centered or not very spiritual. Some of them, they're more psychological or philosophical. But this one does feel very holy in a sense. And so maybe, Taurus, you're being called back to the sacred, or rather you're being called back to make your life sacred in some capacity, to remember the sanctity of your life, the sanctity of your choices. All right, for Taurus, anything else, Spirit? Anything else? And it's funny, my nose has been running this whole reading. Excuse Excuse me for nasal noises. Anything else? That's too many. Too many. Anything else? Okay, I'll take these two. We have ground yourself. Being distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient are all signs that you're ungrounded. Now is the time to become centered and allow Spirit to help you ground yourself and reconnect with the divine source. Here's the thing, Taurus. What makes it easier to leap off the cliff is to do so in a grounded fashion, to know that you are grounded in something higher than yourself. And then we have caregiver. We are with you, and Spirit has its own way of recognizing the care and love you provide to others, especially at the end of their lives, just as you received care and love at the start of your life. Caregivers often focus all their attention on their loved ones and often neglect their own concerns and well-being in the process. Here's the other thing, Taurus. I mean, this is speaking directly to what we spoke about earlier. Maybe you are so consumed by building this, by leaving a legacy for your kids or your family or your loved ones or your mission, your nonprofit. I don't know what you're so consumed with, but listen, your loved ones want you. They want you in the present moment. And it's really easy to get caught up in the worry and fear of, what kind of world am I going to leave behind for my kids or my family or something. But you are supported and you are worthy just as is. You don't have to leave a legacy or an inheritance or something like that. You don't have to leave this for your children. They want you, right? They want you. They want I'm getting emotional talking about it because kids really want so little. They want to know that they're loved and they are, supported, and they want to know that you value them, despite what you're providing for them in the tangible 3D world. Let's look at what's in the unconscious position. We have choices. We have choices. When you accept responsibility for your life and the choices you make, you begin to tap into the power of your own spirit. You'll be able to listen to and appreciate the intuitive wisdom that is inside of you and apply it positively and constructively to your outside world. This is what's being pushed into the unconscious, Taurus. So, you're being called to take a higher accountability for the experience of your life, right? It's like sometimes when we're so focused on an end goal, like if you live your life so focused on death, you're not living, because it's taking you out of the present moment and you're missing it, Taurus. You're missing it. So call your spirit back, call your attention back, and recalibrate your measuring stick. Stop measuring your life by what's going to be left at the end of it when you're gone. It's time to measure it in, there's a great, I don't know if it's Ram Dass or Alan Watts, I can't remember, but it's one of them said, try to basically change your measuring stick and measure your life by the amount of presence you can have in a day, in a moment, right? So the measuring stick becomes how much presence can I have? Beautiful, beautiful reading. Let's get some Buddha wisdom here. I'm going to end on some Buddha wisdom. What would you like to share with these beautiful Taurians? All right, we have two. I will take both of them. We have mind that is established in true emptiness encompasses the universe. Again, this is presence. When you are truly present, you are void of the past or the future. You then get to free up all of your faculties so that you can show up in the present moment, being able, firing on all cylinders, having access to all these beautiful parts of yourself. But when you're stuck in the past or worried about the future, you limit those resources in the present moment. And people deserve to have you. You deserve for people to receive you and to celebrate you and to love you in the present moment as your full whole being. Okay, and then we have absolute reality is beyond name, form, and individuality. It is within you. It is the gateway to your noble self. God, there's so many messages in that. But the biggest one that I think applies to you, Taurus, is that, again, listen, if you are so consumed by the end or by a goal or an achievement or your legacy, know that oneness exists. And when you can lean into the truth of oneness and let that quantum existence and quantum explanation hold you, you realize that you are not separate. You are not other from your future self. Thus, you are actually, everything that you have accomplished or will accomplish is actually right here, right now. You don't have to work towards anything. You don't have to fix anything to have access to this other version of yourself where you've accomplished all these things. Whew, okay, Taurus, beautiful reading, very grounded. I mean, I feel very grounded, but that's also Taurus energy. I'm not going to take credit for that because that's a lot of your energy. I actually have a Taurus moon, so this is very resonant for me as well. Anyway, I hope it was supportive. I think I'm going to keep doing these sign readings. I think they feel nice to kind of niche down. You know, when you do these readings for the collective, you're speaking to such a massive spectrum of experience and existence that they're also beautiful, but I kind of like this niching down a little bit. All right, much love to you. I hope this was supportive, and I will see you in the next one.